Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? I hope that you are enjoying an amazing day. I know for some of you, you may think, why does she always say that? Because some people aren't enjoying an amazing day, and some people don't realize that they have the power to create whatever they desire in their lives. And so I just always want to remind you of that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, everybody, it's me, Tanisha. Oh, and welcome to Tea with Tanisha. Oh, I am Tanisha, OKK, CEO of Blending Our Love Incorporated, and I'm a forgiveness coach. I absolutely love being able to enter into people's lives in a space when they're hurting, they're in pain. Good morning. They may feel lost or stuck, and allowing them, gifting them with small questions and gentle reminders and things for them to tweak. A lot of times you think you have to do this massive overhaul of your life, and a lot of times when you are beating yourself up so frequently, you think that you need to just throw everything away and just start over. You want to get rid of everything. You want to change your life. You wish you could change your past. You wish you didn't have the same family that you had. You wish you made all of these different mistakes, but you don't realize that small, gentle tweaks in your life can shift and change everything. And so I absolutely love being a forgiveness coach, being able to enter into people's spaces and remind them of that. Today, oh my goodness, y'all. I'm excited about talking about forgiving yourself when you make mistakes. Okay, so let's think about something. If you had a friend who every single time you said something to them or did something, they were just nasty and rude. They were belittling. Every time you were like all excited about something, you were like, oh my gosh, guess what I did? And they were like, and they belittled or downplayed everything. Have you ever had a friend like that? Have you ever had a friend that you, at some point, you're like, maybe I shouldn't even say anything to them because they're not going to celebrate me the way I deserve to be celebrated? Have you had those friends? Those people who you're like, this person is toxic. I need to get them out of my life and get some new people in my life. Have you had those people in your life and ultimately you got to a space or a place where you let them go, or maybe they walked out of your life and you realize, oh my gosh, what a beautiful blessing that was that they're not there? Have you had that person in your life who was just a friend, but they really were negative and nasty? Now, let me ask you this. How often are you that negative, nasty friend to yourself? How often are you the person who beats yourself up more than anyone else? Most times, people's thoughts, their internal thoughts, and their actions toward themselves are far more harsh, far more hard. The ridicule is far greater than anything anyone else can ever say. Anything anyone else can ever say. If we really took a moment to evaluate our own words, you take a moment to think about, what is the bulk of what I say to myself? What is the bulk of what you say to you? What do you think in your spare time? When you think of doing something, do you think of success or do you think of failure? Do you think of all the great things about you, or do you think about all the times that you just didn't get it right? These are really, really super important questions that you really want to take a moment to analyze, because if you are willing to get rid of that man in your life, the people in your life, the toxic job, all of the toxic people around you, and you aren't willing to get rid of and you can't obviously get rid of yourself, right? But you can shift your mindset. And so, how about if you gifted yourself enough grace to become the friend that you need in someone else? You are looking for someone else to be this amazing friend to you, but you're not that friend to yourself. You find beautiful words and all of these nice accolades to say to everyone else, but for some reason within yourself, you can't find them. You find a way to make someone else feel better when they've messed up, when things just weren't right, when they didn't get it right, they missed the mark, and it could have been a really small thing. And you find a way to say, it's not that big of a deal. Just get back up. You can do it. Yet when it comes to you, you can't say that to yourself. So you know what? I want to share this as I've been on this forgiveness lifestyle journey. And forgiveness is a lifestyle. It's not a one-time decision. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle because the more you do it, the easier it becomes. I've realized that as I have been on this forgiveness lifestyle journey, and let me tell you something, I was negative Nancy, Debbie Downer, judgmental Judy, whatever the names are that you have, right? I was all of those things. It wasn't until I was able to look at mistakes that I make, look at my perceived failures, take inventory of me and how I was communicating with myself, to let me see how I was showing up in the world. I thought that if I'm just nasty or rude to myself, it's not impacting anyone else, not realizing that you are impacting every other person that you encounter, because you cannot love anyone else more than you love yourself. So I realized, ooh, hmm, you got to get that together, T. And so I realized something. Nowadays, when I make a mistake, sometimes depending on what it is, I'll laugh at my mistake, be like, oh, girl, that's a whole mess. Laugh it off, shake it off. When I'm even today, I'll give an example. Today, I recorded my lives. If you don't live every day, I do a 1 minute story on whatever I'm talking about. So today's 1 minute story, I was sharing about forgiving myself and how recently I've really been going through some raw emotions, working through different thoughts that are going through my mind. And I don't know if something triggered me. I don't know what happened, but I kind of the past couple of days felt a bit stuck and was like, oh gosh, how am I going to work through these things? But the interesting thing is that because I've been on this forgiveness lifestyle journey, I don't go on this spiral downhill thing. I'm able to at least pause and say, wait a minute, what is it that I need in this moment? Am I really overthinking this? Am I being too hard on myself because I feel like I should have done something that I didn't do? What are my real true internal thoughts? And so I've been processing these raw emotions, and what I've learned on this forgiveness journey as I forgive myself is to become quiet. I tend to become quiet and still, and I go internally in order to hear what's being said, in order to listen to my body, in order to connect with myself to see what's happening so that I avoid harming the people that I love the most, lashing out on my husband or lashing out on my children, or releasing pain that really isn't for them, but because I'm confused about my own emotions, I just push it out on them. So I go internal and I go quiet. So I've been processing these raw emotions over the past couple of days, and I'm so grateful that I've gotten some answers and gained some clarity as to what it is. And so here I am doing my 1 minute video, right? And and I record this whole 1 minute video, and I didn't hear my voice in the video. So I was thinking like maybe I did it, maybe they'll hear it. I just don't hear it. Because sometimes that happens. I'll record, I don't hear it, but the people will hear it. And so my sister was like, T, there's no words in your video. Now I did a proper caption, but she's like, there's no words in your video. And I said, girl, I thought that was me. I said, well, I'm glad I did captions because I'm not re-recording it. I guess it wasn't meant to be for the people to hear what I was saying. It was more meant for people to connect with whatever it was I had typed in the message. And so here's the deal. How many of you, had you put something out there, would have freaked out? Oh my gosh, I did it wrong. How are people going to judge me? People are going to think I'm stupid. People are going to think I'm dumb. Like, you go on this whole rant and tirade because you made a simple mistake. And instead of just giving yourself the grace to say, it is what it is. And that's where I am. Last week I'm doing the masterclass series, right? And so last week was so dope, building confidence to push through the pain. That was phenomenal. If you haven't purchased the mastermind classes, what are you waiting for? I bless myself with those words, just hearing myself talk through these things. And so here's the deal. I did this whole 2-hour masterclass, and nobody on the masterclass mentioned anything to me, maybe because they figured it was supposed to be that way. The screen was black, y'all. The screen was black the whole time. The screen was black for 2 hours. I'm spitting out all this dope content, and I speak off the top of my head. I don't know how you guys do. I don't script everything. I have, of course, the presentation and all of that stuff prepared, but I speak off the top of my head. And so I'm not going to record all of that and then print it out and then read it out. I'm not doing that. And so I did this 2-hour thing on a black screen, y'all. So what would y'all have done? If you did a master class that you sold to people, you have students in this, would you have freaked out and panicked and redone the entire thing? Because some people would say, oh my gosh, it's all about perfection and it's all about this and that. Or would you have just let it be? For me, I'm at a phase in my life where I'm going to let it be. I would much rather ensure sure that I connected with my tribe and with the community, with all of you from an authentic, genuine place, and make sure that you gain the nuggets that you needed versus me focusing on a black screen. Here's what's interesting. One of the students who went back and watched it later said, Tanisha, I actually loved the back screen better because it's like a 2 hour podcast. Just picture a podcast, right? And so she said, because of the depth of the content that you were giving, having the back black screen had me avoid and ignore all of the distractions. I was focusing on the content and the place that you were taking us in that moment versus looking at all the colorful displays that you had up on the screen. And so life is always happening for you. And as you're working through forgiving yourself for mistakes, it's going to be super important for you just to say, like, how big of a deal is this? In the grand scheme of things, is this really a big deal? Do I have to freak out right now? Is everything worth me just throwing in the towel? And so, as you give yourself the grace to forgive, it's beautiful because you decide to forgive other people. You will learn how to get over things faster. You know, when my husband makes these quirky little comments, what did he say to me? I don't know. He always makes these fun little quirky comments to me. One day last week when it was time for me to wash my hair, he was like, why don't you? Anyway, I'll spare you the details. But when he says things back in the day, certain little comments that were made in a joke and they really weren't insulting at all, I would take them personal and I would be in my feelings for the whole day. But me taking things personal had everything to do with how I felt about myself, and it had nothing to do with him, right? Because he's not belittling me, he's not hurting me, he's a beautiful person. And so as you forgive yourself, you will find that the people around you, it may appear that they've changed. You're going to think, oh my gosh, everybody's changed. It's not that they changed. You changed. And as you change, you hear things differently. You see things differently. Things that bothered you so much before, not a big deal. Things that happen that may get under your skin, you let them ride differently when you are 100% connected with yourself. And so forgiving yourself for a mistake, if that's an area that you're struggling with the most, DM me the word forgivable so that we can have a chat. But also figure out, is this really a big deal? Is it? Like, if you're so focused or paranoid or panicked about somebody judging you, what other areas are you paranoid and panicked about them judging you in as well? You see, the fact that I owned my mistake somehow of recording an entire black screen, now I don't feel guilty. No clients are coming to me like, T, did you know that the screen was black? Yeah, I did. I put it in the notes section like, hey, y'all, enjoy this 2 hour podcast. You know what I mean? And I still included the slide deck. So here's the deal. When you own your mistakes, not from a, yeah, I made a mistake anyway, get over it. No. But really owning it. Like, yeah, I did that. And I've given myself the grace to grow through it. People can't hold it over your head. And that was the biggest thing. I realized when I forgive myself for mistakes, I keep my power. I take my power back. No one can come to me to tell me about me. I already know, right? So today, give yourself the gift of forgiveness. Give yourself the grace to make mistakes. Allow yourself to grow through certain situations. Allow yourself to heal from things. Be quiet. Find your way to a place of silence, not silence like, I don't feel like being bothered with y'all. No. Not an attitude silence, but a silence just to get quiet, to dig within, to hear what your inner soul is saying to you, what it is you really, really need in the moment. There are so many layers to forgiving yourself for a mistake, the mistake of staying too long, the mistake of somebody, being in a relationship that you shouldn't be in. There's all these reasons why you feel like you need to forgive yourself for a mistake. I just want you to know that whatever it is, no matter what it is, you are forgivable and you can grow through this moment. It's just a matter of taking the time to really say, yeah, I forgive myself. No one else needs to sign that permission slip. No one else needs to give you the stamp of approval. You get to make a decision. I forgive myself. I love you all. And I hope that you give yourself the gift of forgiveness. Give yourself the grace to make mistakes and learn from them and grow through them and heal from them. It's okay. Don't allow your first thought to be what other people think when you make a mistake. Who gives a doggone what they think? That's their business, right? It's what you think. And if you're ready, willing, courageous, and brave enough, and gentle enough, and soft enough, and loving enough with yourself to say, that's okay. You learn something, you're going to grow from this and move forward. I promise you, your days will be so much more joyful, and situations that used to probably take you out will not last so long. Times where maybe you went into a deep depression, it may become an hour of a thought versus a month of being down. You get to rewrite every single thing that's going on in your life. And I want you to know you're not alone. I'm right here with you. I am here with you on this forgiveness journey. Listen, y'all, join the masterclass that's taking place today, the gift of forgiveness, as we do this mindset reset masterclass series. You can DM me the word forgivable so that I can support you in your journey. And oh, y'all know Black Friday is this week, right? And I got some amazing sales, 80% off. If there's some things that you've been like, I want to get that, but it's not in my budget, it's gonna be in your budget. It's gonna be in your budget. Might need to not go to Starbucks for a little while, but Starbucks is worth your healing and your growth. I love y'all so much. I love you so much. Absolutely. You get better at the process as you stay committed to it. Absolutely. I love y'all so much. And I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. Reach out to me if you need me. Forgivenesslifestyle.com.